Kal Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash, the bonus to GM message on His truth, Revelation 13 and 16. And He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So this scripture came to mind when I came across this video about this couple from Canada that took a trip to a few different countries, and how prevalent that beast system technology is, the biometrics, verifying identity to be able to so-called enter these countries. So let's just take a look at what they did. Soon this sort of bypass won't be available to people, and ultimately you'll need that RFID microchip to freely come and freely go.
Made a trip, actually a pilgrimage recently to Peru, and stopped on the way back to Belize as well, which is the place where we were initially invited and what brought on this journey for a few weeks. And we've learned some things with regards to navigating the airports, train stations, bus stations.
Well, what you find is that increasingly, and anybody who's traveling is probably seeing this, but increasingly you are seeing more and more biometric scanning. So whether people, when you're going through the airport, and this could be through security, this can be even as you are moving along, even to board your plane, we found, and we'll go through some of these in just a moment, the examples, but they want you in front of a camera to get your facial recognition, and then also they're starting to ask for digital fingerprints for all your fingerprints. And so we were aware of this before we even started our trip, so we kind of prepped things in advance, but we really didn't know what to expect until we were actually there, and we were navigating the airports and even train stations and whatnot too when we were trekking around.
What Jason means when he's saying that we prepped in advance, we actually emailed all the various airlines that we had made reservations with and notified them that we are planning this trip on these particular dates, on these particular flight numbers, and we did not consent to any biometric data collection, and we were requesting a manual identification instead.
So we sent a notice a couple days before we actually left. And so just to give you an example, we ended up going through, all in all, was, in under 3 weeks, we ended up probably hitting about 6 different countries that we had ended up in, and around 10 different flights.
Yes,
and
it ended up being.
Depending on the country was very different as far as what requirements were, but probably the most intense one was the United States, which I think probably most people can imagine.
And Peru.
And Peru was too. So Peru had been doing actually biometric scanning for a while now, and we didn't have any idea necessarily what it was, but when we got there and we had to go through immigration. So you'll kind of hit different pieces. And we'll talk briefly around these different areas. So there's going through immigration is one of the pieces that you have to be able to navigate. And then there's going through the security, where you go through the security and
they check your luggage in your bag.
Yeah. And then what we found is that several other places, particularly in the United States, you would hit different areas where they were wanting to do more biometric scanning. It was right up until you were actually going to board your flight. They had another line for people standing in front and getting biometric scanning.
What is biometric scanning?
So essentially when they're taking a digital verification of who you are. So what you'll see most of the time now is it's going to be standing in front of a screen, and then they scan your face, and then they
typically
use that.
It's a small camera, or sometimes airlines now they actually have like a
full big computer screen. And then the other one that you'll come across is going to be fingerprint scanning. So they'll want to put your fingerprints down and scan that. So anyways, where to start with all of this? So maybe we'll start with where we first kind of encountered it.
Why is it important? This year in particular, it's been all about digital ID, if you've noticed.